Thank you all for joining the session today. And welcome to the session on working with imagery and raster data using ArcGIS Pro. So here I'm Sri Kumar, and let us get into the session straight away. And we will be seeing a quick overview of ArcGIS Pro and its general capabilities. Then we will move on to the ArcGIS imagery's raster and imagery handling capabilities. And this will be followed by artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning capabilities available in Pro, and the ability of ArcGIS Pro to integrate with advanced image processing software called ENVI from Harris. So this is what we have in store for you for today. Let us get into action. So let us see the imagery capabilities of ArcGIS, and be it aerial, satellite, or drone images, SCD offers capability to leverage information from imagery along with the most powerful GIS software. And that is accessible from any device on any platform at any time. And it provides a comprehensive capability to work or to address all imagery related challenges straight from content to the map production. And in this session, we will be focusing the core capabilities of ArcGIS Pro in managing imageries and rasters. So what is ArcGIS Pro? It's a series next generation flagship desktop application. And many of you might have been already working with this and might be familiar with this, but for the benefit of those who are new to Pro, it's a professional GIS application wherein you can work in 2D and 3D mapping environment, and it offers extensive GIS capabilities like data management, focused and intuitive workflows, and so on, which can be extended with powerful SDKs. So many of the capabilities we will be covering in today's session. So if you see, some of the key capabilities addressed by Pro are a complete set of tools for creating, storing, managing geospatial data is one of the backbone of ArcGIS Pro. Scientific analytical tools to identify patterns, making predictions, and answering geospatial queries is one of the key aspects of ArcGIS Pro. As you can see here, you can create visually stunning maps using state-of-art presentation tools which can emphasize what is important in a particular map. And we can work with multiple displays, layouts, and you can also work simultaneously in 2D and 3D environment in Pro. And we also have the capability to work with a wide variety of web services and share your map with other integrated or connected systems in a very easy manner using ArcGIS Pro. And Pro has also tools to work with imageries from wide range of sources, including drones, UAVs, LiDAR, and so on. Yeah. So ArcGIS Pro contains comprehensive set of tools. So when it comes to imagery and raster management data, and it provides a comprehensive analytical platform that enables you to combine imagery with other kind of geographic information and analytical models. So you might have seen this slide earlier, but I just wanted to give you an overview of image handling capabilities of ArcGIS Pro right from the content, its management, visualization and exploitation capabilities, analysis and map production abilities. So in this, we will be seeing those in detail in the coming slides. Let us start with content. ArcGIS Pro offers access to the largest online remote sensing data collection called Living Atlas of the World, which offers you ready-to-use authoritative data layers. And even though these datasets are available for whole world, we will be specifically discussing about the India-specific data here. So under the world imagery category, 1 meter or better resolution satellite imageries are available as base maps for using in SD connected systems, and multi-resolution elevation data services are available for use in analysis, and the best data that is available is of 24-meter resolution at this point of time. Landsat 8, 15 or 30-meter resolution multispectral data from archives from 90s, and Sentinel 10 and 20-meter multispectral imagery are available to access in the system, and these data sets are updated on a daily basis. Coming to the WABAC imagery, it includes World's Basemap Imagery Archive for a period of last 5 years. And the MODIS imagery section includes imagery data from MODIS sensor and its derived products. So these are the contents. And let us see, since we have seen there are so many content in it, let us see how easy it is to use and access in ArcGIS Pro. So over here you can see ArcGIS Pro interface, and this is a ribbon-based intuitive interface. Based on selection, the tools will come up, and on the left-hand side you can see the contents pane, and this is a map viewer wherein we will be working with the geospatial data. And on the right hand side is a catalog where we connect to all these data sources. And I have already logged into my portal. So I'll just move on to my portal, and this is a connection to the Living Atlas where I can select various items, and these base maps comes under categories, and I'm just trying to connect to the various imageries that are available here. So here I can see various data sources, and I will be just adding the PAN data, PAN sharpen Landsat data. So here it is. We have the scenes added for the whole India region, and the time series is you can see in faint color. And based on the selection, you can see various intuitive tools has appeared, and the time sequence for which the data is available can be seen here or can be filtered here. And you can also get the list of imagery that are available here, and you can make use of the best imagery of your choice in further analysis or further processing. So this is as simple as just clicking and getting the data that you want, and it is available for all the data that is available in the ArcGIS online system. So we have seen the data, and it also offers, the system also offers powerful visualizing experience like on-the-fly enhancement or interactive histogram stretch like what you are seeing on the right-hand side, these images, or dynamic legends, and so on. And it also helps you to work with oblique imageries like this in its own geometry, native geometry called image space, and also helps you to measure 2D and 3D surfaces, three-dimensional surfaces. And you can also work with a drone, aerial or satellite imageries in ArcGIS Pro, and also can work in stereo mode using, you can also use oblique imagery and full motion video to capture or analyze content in ArcGIS Pro. So the ability of ArcGIS Pro to work with various sources itself implies that it should support various raster formats, and it supports 150 plus raster formats and over 70 well-known sensors. And this can be in the form of a file or it can be in the cloud store. And latest in the series of data that are supported are the Sentinel series, Python raster types, and multidimensional rasters. So there are a lot of data that we need to manage, and large collection of imagery can be easily managed either as image services or in Pro in the form of a raster datasets or mosaic datasets. which helps you to actually reference the source or maintains metadata, or it can also store the or define the various processing that need to be applied for each data set. And it also supports numerous raster data types, and it is a very highly scalable data format. And those who are working with large imagery data collection, there is a section in the ArcGIS resource page called Image Management Guidebook over here, which covers the best practices for managing large collection of imagery. Those who are interested can just search for it and get it, and it is open for all. So once you have all this data available for you, I understand that this is one of the sections which most of you would be very much keen to know, extracting information from imagery. So ArcGIS Pro provides various functions, tools, and capabilities for this image and geospatial analysis in following areas. This includes geoprocessing capabilities to run on entire dataset, or raster functions to work directly on pixels, or various modeling and analysis techniques to apply on different datasets like multidimensional rasters, drones, FMVs, etc. And ability to leverage the state-of-art AI, ML, or machine learning libraries. And best part is that all this can be extended using APIs. So let us see some of these in detail right now. So suitability modeling, let us see a quick demo on suitability modeling. Most of you might be aware of suitability modeling. It's a classic workflow that many of us would have been done during our working with imagery. But this new tool will change the way we work with it by simplifying the process and making it very quick using a single integrated tool. So what is that? Let us take a quick look at the suitability modeler. Yes. Here, what you are seeing is the Hawaii area, and coffee is the second largest harvested product in Hawaii. And here we are trying to identify a coffee farm, area for coffee cultivation in addition to the existing areas. And it is very challenging because already most of the areas are being used. So this is where we use suitability modeling, and this can be used for various other suitability analysis also. So the latest tool, suitability model, is available in the analysis tab, and you can start by just clicking this new suitability tool. Here, it offers you a provision to add various rasters that you have for doing this. I am adding a couple of around 10 images. So you can see as soon as it is getting added, it will reflect on the map viewer. And you can see all these images are getting added one after another. Now, once we have added, you can see the added rasters and their weightage, which is a bit of familiar to you. You can just directly change the weightage, etc., and so on. But I would just like to show you some additional capabilities that might not have been there earlier. So like, for example, I just picked up the land cover. It automatically does the exploration of the data set and tells me based on the value in the pixel and what are the classes that are available based on the suitability. So to see the map more clearly, I will just zoom it back to that particular location. And also based on the field that we have selected, for example, the classes, you can see the various classes that are available here and the suitability that was assigned already. Now I can always perform auto calculate mode, but when I want to make bulk changes, I'll just switch it off and keep changing some of those suitability values depending upon how I want. So many of you who have already done multi-criteria analysis would be knowing this. So just based on some assessment, I have decided the suitability and their weightages, and I have just ran a calculation which gave me a analysis. And I can also have a two-pane view so that it will help me to understand the moment I bring up new analysis criteria, how it is going to work for me. Yeah, here I have just put one more window. Yes, I have two windows right now. And now the moment I select one more parameter, it comes up here and I can just calculate. So it will show me on the latest window the terrain and subsequently what is the impact based on that terrain in the suitability modeling will have. So like this, you can keep adding your criteria and arrive at your decisions very easily. And towards the end of this, I would like to just show you that in this analysis for the Hawaii area to identify a suitable location, we were able to just identify it for the two areas here, and it is in somewhere in this area. So you can just see that. So you don't have to keep moving from one window to another to do the analysis, and you can perform it under a very good control with all the information in your hand. So that's about suitability modeler. Let us move. Yes, so we have seen geoprocessing, and this can be extended by the Python libraries, open libraries also. Now, raster functions are the processing that are applied directly onto the pixels and imagery and data sets, unlike the geoprocessing where new data sets are created. And we have 120 plus raster functions which supports you on the fly processing. And you can see the core raster functions are categorized in Pro into more or less 9 major categories like operations, statistics, conversion, band math, which are very generic. And the image space functions like segmentation, classification are categorized under image analyst. And the distance specific or spatial functions aspects are grouped under the spatial analyst raster function capabilities. And there are many out-of-box raster functions that are provided along with the software that can be used for the radiometric correction, geometric correction, data management, visualization, and analysis. So it's a huge set of functions, and these are some of those examples which will help you to actually understand how easily we can make use of this raster function. So for example, here, the distance functions are used to identify the routes or cross-country mobility here. And the spatial functions are used to identify the pixel statistics like bandwise maximum or mean temperature. And trend analysis is being done using, trend or pattern analysis is done using the multi-dimensional rasters. So what are these multi-dimensional rasters? So multi-dimensional raster data helps you to handle large scientific data sets. And as you can see, it is presented as data captured in spatial as well as in the other angle where it can be a time, height, or depth. And because of this, it is ideally suited for various scientific purposes like atmospheric data or geological data, etc. So this data can be in HDF, it can be in NetCDF, GRIB, or multidimensional CRF files. So latest entrant in this is voxel layers, a new layer of a multidimensional raster type that creates 3D volumetric visualization from NetCDF data. And this is very suitable for atmospheric data, oceanic, and underground geological models. And the best part is that you can use it to dice the data for exploration and visualization at this point of time. So let us take a quick look at the voxel layers. So here comes the next demo. So here you can see, I hope you are able to see, the moment you select a particular data type, the intuitive tool comes and appears as voxel layers. Now I'll just open up the symbology tab so that you will be able to appreciate, wherein you can just switch on various lithographic layers in this geographic data set. So I'll just pin this so that it will be here itself. So I'll just switch it on, and then I'll try to actually slice it and see how the lithography in these sections will appear, and how each strata is appearing in this. So like this, you can just cut at any point wherever you want and perform various kind of operation. Another one similar operation that I would like to show with the limited time that I have is a NOVA data, ocean temperature data. So you can use it for rendering to understand the change in the temperature pattern, which you would have been already doing it with multidimensional rasters. Or you can actually change various variables here that we will do later, and you can slice that and see how it is going to appear. For example, I can just slice it and see how it is appearing. So you can see the vertical position, similar way you can do for the horizontal areas also. And you can also create surfaces. And here you can see the horizontal position of that. And you can just move and play around various what you call horizontal sections and the values of it. Now, if you want to do the vertical part of it, you can do that as well. You can see the various sections and its vertical part of it. Now, you can also change the variables over here and visualize it. Or you can still use volumes to see that. So you can also create a iso surface. That means the region of equal values, and see where it is actually spreading and working with. So let us continue. Coming to LiDAR. So ArcGIS Pro supports radar from all modes, like be it airborne, terrestrial, mobile, or from drone. And the data can be individual files, or it can be consolidated one. And there are various tools to convert the formats or analyze the LiDAR data, or to make the classification based on height or ground points and so on. So there are various ways in which you can work, or you can convert and process and analyze LiDAR data in ArcGIS Pro. And map production from imagery. When it comes, ArcGIS Pro supports satellite or aerial cameras and drones for this map production. It supports auto production and photogrammetric techniques, including stereo display, image space, and oblique imagery as well. So here I have just picked up a couple of key aspects which may be of interest to the people who have been already working with imagery. The first in that is the pixel editor. which helps you to work directly with pixels, to edit pixels or to reclassify the pixels that was already classified, and obscure or edit data sets which need not have to be shared with outside, or for applying custom processing. When it comes to the stereo capabilities of ArcGIS Pro, you can work with stereo for visualization, for extracting information, and for making measurement in the stereo mode. And you can also work with or visualize and explore imagery taken from any angle using the oriented imagery capability in ArcGIS Pro. And oriented imagery supports standard frame, panoramic, and omnidirectional cameras. And coming to the full motion video, which is available in the ArcGIS Analyst extension of Pro, provides the capabilities for playing geospatial analysis, playing the videos as well as geospatial analysis on top of a video. For the videos that are FMV compliant or those who are in MISB standards. So we will have a quick look at the pixel editor capabilities in ArcGIS Pro. So here you can see the entire base map of entire world, and you can see I have a digital elevation model for this particular area. I'll just zoom on to this particular location. Yes. Now there are some areas where I have some node data in the pixel, which will cause a lot of problem while creating, while performing analysis, especially the hydrological one. So yeah, these are the pixels where we have some node data values. Let us take a look at it. So you have some focused imagery tools in the imagery tab. I'll just open up the image information at the beginning. And you can see on the right hand side in the image information tab, you can see the dynamic display of image pixel values coming up as the cursor goes in. And you can see there is no value here. Now, I just want to correct this node data with some approximation. And here comes the pixel editor capabilities. So I have, So I have this pixel editor. Yes, I have this pixel editor, and I'm just picking up a lasso tool, and I'm just circling this particular location. And there are various operations that I can perform, like setting average, set constants, add to, blur, no data. So depending upon how you want to process the data, you can do that. At this point, I would like to fill the voids. So I get that particular geoprocessing tool over here, and I just need to click apply. It understands and automatically averages out. I just had closed this. So I can just see that the pixel value is somewhere in that category, 800 category. Now I can come back to the other pixel and apply it. And you can see here the value is around 700. I'll just go apply in this area and see. I have just applied it, and this is a pixel, so 733. So like this, depending upon the average of in and around pixels, it is automatically applied. Like this, there are many other tools. With the paucity of time, we were able to cover some of the key highlights. Keep watching this space and the contents from the resources, which will help you to understand more about what is new in ArcGIS Pro and our image related capabilities. So I would request Rudy to pass on to Kiran for taking up the next session. So there are more interesting sessions that are going to come up, and starting with full motion video. Thank you.
Thank you, Sri. Thank you so much. And just can you please confirm me? Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, Kiran, you are audible.
Yeah. Thank you. So, as you have seen a lot of wonderful demos from this, it means the ArcGIS Pro is complete advancing towards to the imagery. Do you think that it's only limited to the RGB multi-spectral raster? Not at all. You can expand it to videos. You can use the whether it's FMV full motion imagery or MSD compliant. Let's have a quick demo on that. You can see my ArcGIS Pro screen. Let me take and have open one of small video here. This video is somewhere related to the military. The full motion video player has been upgraded with new tools capabilities. The video playback bar is graduated with finer granularity and added with the pinpoint for the playback control. You can just pinpoint it and go wherever you want. Not only that, you can direct play this and sync to the side-by-side view and go into the particular screen where you want. And you can also zoom into the particular place. Now you can see it exactly following up the route. I can stop anywhere where I want. I can add some points which is relevant. As soon as I add point, it can same time it reflects on the row. Again, I'm playing, and somewhere I found there is some pole is there. As a utility inspection, I can perform and height measurement. You can see I can measure the height. I can also change the unit here. Now, not only that, again I'm playing back, and as I'm interesting here, I want to skip the image frame, and here I just add this snapshot. So on the fly, I'm doing the georeference, and you can see the georeferenced image. How quickly I georeference the captured frame from the video itself. Now you can see the video exactly the chip which has framed, it has placed. So moving back to the slides again. So the like complete ArcGIS Pro image analyst, it not only works with the videos, or you can talk about the rasters and multi-dimensional rasters, LIDAR, or multispectral image. As we have seen a lot of raster imagery capability, let's see few other tools where ISRI is continuously advancing ArcGIS to deepen its support for artificial intelligence. As a result of these advancements, ArcGIS supports machine learning, a subset of AI focused on algorithms that recognize and learn from facts. ArcGIS image analyst tools apply machine learning and deep learning techniques to classify objects, identify patterns, and make predictions. These tools help you answer complex questions and gain more accurate insights into your data. So you have artificial intelligence, which describes how you can have a computer or a machine to do a task that requires some level of human intelligence. Now, one type of machine learning which requires some level of human intelligence, or the techniques that have learned from data to get the information that exactly you need. And one type of machine learning that has emerged in the past few years is a deep learning. And that refers to the code structure that loosely resembles and how human brain operates when you solve problems. You can see how these three terms are linked and subset each other essentially. Deep learning can drive machine learning, which then ultimately can enable artificial intelligence. So we can see some of the examples. Here is the examples of object detection, instance segmentation, land cover, scene detection, where AI plays a vital role. Like classifying damaged textures. or detecting building footprints, or classify and extracting the land for information, getting the pipeline enforcement, extracting the roads, detecting oil pads, or identifying the structures of cracks between the roads, or detecting cars, whether it's whatever type of car, and to understand and detect the health of the tree, and detecting the swimming pools, and many more. So when we talk about these scenarios, always it requires to the imagery, right? So deep learning with imagery makes remote sensing experts life easier. With deep learning, you can find things in easier, and also you can use in imagery to get the more accurate like human intelligence can perform. And you can also, it can perform at getting work faster with more powerful GPU system and enhance your work at a larger scale. So for example, you can start a work on a block level and you want to expand it to up to country level, and you want to perform scene detection, object detection, land cover, or any other. So if you are thinking that how it can perform, it's simple small 4-step process. Just start with labeling, where you can do and train the data. Once the data is ready, we have to prepare the complete data, and then we have to go on to the train a model where you can leverage the ArcGIS Pro notebook. Then final step, we can perform the inference, which is required to again object detection, classification, segmentation. So before going to the labeling and start performing, initially we require the image management. As Sri has clearly explained how the image management task management. And after completing the workflow, we can do some post-processing tasks as a GP, geoprocessing analysis, like speech analysis tools or image analysis tools to perform and get the end-to-end. Once the entire work finished, you can share this data to the enterprise, where you can publish this data onto servers, share in mobiles or dashboards to get the properties and field mobile. So the deep learning scenario, some people say as a developer, they may think and they want to create their own model. For that, the ArcGIS Pro 2.6 is seamlessly integrated with the Python notebook. And these ArcGIS notebooks is that intersection of ArcGIS and Open Data Science both places. Let's see when you talk about these notebooks or these libraries. ArcGIS provides ArcGIS API for Python and ArcPy, which will give hundreds of Python libraries and open source libraries like Pandas, TensorFlow, PyTorch, Scikit-learn, and Jupyter Notebook. A lot of open source libraries you are getting, which you can perform on it upon, or the notebooks which are already integrated in ArcGIS Pro. So you can get now Pro, within the Pro, you can get the notebook where you can complete train a model. And not only that, you can direct insert the notebook and you can manage the complete book in a catalog then. So this is the complete end-to-end, the seamlessly integrated, the complete notebook within the ArcGIS Pro. So when we talk about these all scenarios, like notebooks, open source libraries, TensorFlow, Keras, Scikit-learn, and deep learning tools, geoprocessing tools, let's have a demo on that. And here in the demo, we can discuss how we can leverage the deep learning tools and notebooks to detect these stars, right? This is the area you may know, right? And this area everyone knows that is because the south coast of Andhra. And this is somewhere where we have much interested, and we know this is the Visakhapatnam port, right? And here, my interest is to detecting the cars. Like I can enable the high resolution image, and now you can see this image is very high resolution image. I use the source is the GBM. So my target is here to detecting the cars, which help to traffic and like road and transport team to identifying and getting the total cars exactly where are there, right? So to do that, let's the initial step I have to perform where I can label and creating some training samples. And you can see here, these blue color boxes I can use to train the every car. Once my car got trained, these are the training samples. I can leverage the image analysis deep learning tool, export training data for deep learning. And this export training data for deep learning tool help us to perform and export the entire training data as an image. Let me assign the task and process this. Now you can see here, I'm just run this tool, export training data. It will take some time, like around a couple of seconds. It depends on your hardware system capabilities that usually it will take. So like here, you can see now it's 1%, yeah, 5%. Let's see the around it's about to finish. And as soon as it's finished, we will get the results. And the results here, you will get a total 7 set of files. Right? These 7 set of files we can use, and we can take this image chip. And here you can see these are the cars which were. So now I can go to the training exact using the ArcGIS notebook. So here I am leveraging the single source detector and deep lab to train the entire. Now you can see how I trained total 10 epochs, and here I am using the learning loss ratio which is coming around 0.04. And once my entire model has trained, I can save this as a model, and it save as a HC model. Once my model has trained, you can see here how the learning loss ratio and how the model is performed. You can see all labels in these rectangular boxes where star is right. So now I can directly go and run the detecting object using deep learning. But before that, I want to perform some post-processing tasks with the notebook to classify these tasks and make into the complete workflow. So let's see if I go to the geoprocessing and perform export training data. Let's see here, I can use the detect object using deep learning tool, and using this tool, I can detect all stars. And here you can see how better we can get all the cars are available on the like complete Visakhapatnam area. So these cars you can follow the complete road structures and parking lots and everything. Like so, to go into the more detail and understand whether it's really captured the every car got extracted. Yes, you can see now the Swift Desires and Maruti 800, the white color cars. How better we can to scale up the larger, and we can see few more details the other cars has. We can see how the complete every car has captured over the road. And this one, now as an interest, I want to take this entire to connect to the real 3D ceiling. Let me connect to the real world structure. And here you can see how these cars has again to sub-classify, which is whether it's Audi, whether it's Ford, whether it's BMW, whether it's Baleno, and whether it's not. And also we identify the trucks and cars. You can see the Baleno, the exactly the blue color, which the car really looks on the ground. Now, moving towards, as it's real world, we can see the feeling. The deep learning is not stopped only to detecting the car, detecting the face, either working on the imagery, RGB, or working on certain for videos. It can also apply the real world application. So what is searchable real world? So here, when we talk about, I can take this to agriculture health assessment, right? And what is this health assessment and talk about? I want to identify the different types of trees, right? So, and which is damaged and which needs inspection. Let's have a demo on that. So I believe everyone aware about one of the place I'm taking you. Let me go on to the particular. This is somewhere in the south coast, and you can see this is the Satimida area, Andhra Pradesh. And now I enable the high resolution image here. This image is captured by drone and processed on drone. My target is to understand the health. I am creating the vary indices here. And this vary image helps me to understand how the every tree helps. And with training samples, let me take you on the particular place. Zoom here. You can see how the training samples, these red color circles, we extracted the different training samples. And to go more on to the expand the overall scenario, here you can see total I extracted 187 training samples created on the small area. And once these training samples are ready, I have using the geoprocessing tool the same leverage stability export training data, and I can perform it and get the image chips and discrete model definition files. So here are the images. Once my chips are ready and my model definition is exported, I take you on directly the notebook and I can start to train the model. And here I am training the model with a I'm using the SSD single cell detector and epoch freezer 20. Now, once my model is ready, I can leverage the detect object using deep learning. So let's see how I can detect object using deep learning tool to detect the tree. And here you can see total more than 2000 plus trees got detected, and these are seeing as a red box. But my task is not. I want the exact complete end-to-end workflow. And here I have a complete model builder. Start with the deep learning, follow with the geoprocessing task, then follow the complete zonal statistics and other. So this complete model builder helps us to make it the entire task to automate workflow. And with that, now I am going to the particular place and we can see how the every tree has clearly extracted in the 4 different categories, which is need verification, poor, moderate. Let's see some of the health. These are the very good health trees. That's why you can see the green color. But some of the trees which needs verification, you can see the red. Right? I can disable this and you can view. Real is fine. Again, but again, I don't want to stick into the 2D. I want to go into the 3D. And I want the real world feeling. So I can take immediate decision. As an insurance company, they want to raise the funds so they can understand during the disaster how many trees got affected, how many trees is really required. Some we have to take care. So here you can see how these trees are classified. And now I can take the side-by-side view where you can see clearly these 2 yellow trees is the moderate health you can see here, and these 2 trees are moderate. And this is the somewhere is poor, you can get the here information. Some the tree is damaged, you can see that. So this is fun. But when you talk about these complete, the ArcGIS Pro is provide the complete solution, imagery solution. But our imagery is nothing to stop only RGB or multispectral. We can go with the advanced analysis. That advanced analysis like hyperspectral data for mineral class, soil classification, or I can use for complete star data, where I can process the flood mapping and change detection. So I can leverage the NV advanced tools within ArcGIS Pro. It means I can integrate the NV and ArcGIS Pro seamlessly. So I can leverage both tools of both the platforms. Oh, and with a simple small GP services and NV Python functionality, I can integrate NV and ArcGIS. Let's have a demo. Now we can see here some of the place I have taken one image and just I'm classifying the isolate. I'm using the NV modeler to customize the tool, right? And this customization, once done, I can publish this as a task in ArcGIS Pro. So here, either I can publish into the ArcMap or ArcGIS Pro as per our own intent. So here I'm publishing onto the ArcGIS Pro. This will take a fraction of a second. First, publish the task. The task has saved. Now, the task has to be published in a custom code. The Python is done. Now, my ArcGIS Pro Python tool has to got created. Yeah, the tool got created. Now, I have to go to the ArcGIS Pro. Here, the same image I can access. So we can compare both the results. Let's see, yeah, the image is different. Now fine. So with the GP tool, you can see the same NV analytical tools, NV deep learning tools, and the management tools also. Even you can isolate a classification, threshold classification of. Now SAR analytical tools, we can perform the SAR analytics, complete chain detection, flood mapping, DMS detection, including the persisting scatter cells. Now to focus, come back to the isodata classification. Just you can view this tool, how it looks. Input raster, then number of classes. Let me select my input raster, same raster. And here you can see number of classes I'm giving 5 and run this. Now you can see that the tool has finished and outputs are ready. But the same tool which I created and published from ArcNV, I can access here with the tool. Now I'm just adding the same tool. Okay, just let me browse the particular tool. Yes, modeler ArcGIS. Now I'm adding the tool. I can access from my catalog pane, and here I have to go to the toolbox and I can access. Now you can see same tools are getting here, and you can get this data here and simple run. So no need to set the class and all, because it's a custom code. And I run this. Now my tool is about to finish. Yes, done. And you can see the same results. So NV and ArcGIS is completely seamlessly integrated each other. If you want to bring deep learning tool, crop science tools, SAR analytical tools, or any custom, you can directly bring within. In its ArcGIS Pro will provide the complete end-to-end image distribution. So we have provided the complete the image analyst and spatial analyst and geoprocessing tools. To give the complete facility, so you can access and you can access any type of raster and perform a lot of analysis. With that, I just also would like to inform you that we are conducting a couple more of our upcoming webinars, like Jumpstart your GIS journey with ArcGIS Pro. You can understand how the ArcGIS Pro, other GIS concepts. Then also you can explore the world with the spatial tools in ArcGIS Pro, and they expand the GIS desktop extensions and desktop functionality within the ArcGIS Pro. So you can register immediately, and you can also attend our upcoming webinar. And also I would like to request you can join our GeoNet community with respect to your own interest, whether it's product, whether it's research, whether it's certain topics. And you can just start interacting with our complete community.